This is the Todd Shapiro Show on Canada Talks, SiriusXM 167.
All right, do we have David Hyde on the phone?
We do, Todd. How are you doing?
David, where are you calling us from today?
I'm in Hamilton, Ontario today, Todd.
Oh, the good old Hamilton, Ontario, and David Hyde, an executive over at our friends from 360secure.com, 360 Secure Corp. Their ticker symbol is SAFE. Go on Twitter, $SAFE, and learn about this company. And I never give financial advice, but as an investor myself, I can always say I think this is a steal right now. You guys had wonderful quarterly results recently, didn't you?
Yeah, it's very kind, Todd. Yeah, we were very pleased with the results that came out just yesterday. Had our investor call as well, and a lot of great positive feedback. I think we're executing on the game plan we laid out, delivering on that promise. And, you know, it's all about telling people what you're going to do, and then the key thing is delivery. So we're pretty proud, and obviously a lot more work to do. We can always do better, and we're continuing to make improvements and grow those revenue streams week by week.
From what I understand, though, you did completely grew within plus 100% of the revenues over year to year and stuff. What is it that the company is doing so well to increase those revenues to $7+ million? And what is it that you're proud of as an executive with this company?
I think it's really navigating a changing landscape, Todd. I mean, we don't just do work in the cannabis industry, but a lot of our work, a significant amount of our work focuses in that specialized sector, just given the genesis of the company and the specialties that we have in the company on the cannabis file, if you will. So, I think we've really got our heads around how the industry is evolving, how we need to change with it and revamp our services, make adjustments to optimize services and that. And I think it really is also just we've been delivering for 6 years in the cannabis industry, and we've got quite a loyal following of clients that really know they're going to get best value and best service from us. So we find that they stay true with us, and we're able to support them into the United States, into global markets, as well as the Canadian market. So we're very proud and pleased to be able to have a very high kind of client continuity through our services as we move down the track. And again, we're really adapting to a changing marketplace, which is the industry right now in cannabis for sure.
Now, and David, obviously anyone who follows the stock market and follows the cannabis industry has seen a bit of a decline within sort of investors and decline in terms of some of the share prices and stuff. But while you guys are so heavily involved within the cannabis space, is it frustrating as a company to go like, wait a second, we're doing great things, we're getting amazing contracts with these LPs, but it actually has nothing to do with their actual sales, with their actual revenues. It has to do with the fact that these LPs continually will need security, will need protection. That's something 360 Secure does ultimately help them with. We all know that. But maybe being grouped only within that and to know that your services really outreach that entirely, yet you're still very connected to everyone who needs what you do.
Yeah, I mean, you've really hit the nail on the head. I mean, obviously we are lumped in, if you will, by, I think, the investor type folks watching the industry, watching the markets. We are lumped in as a cannabis-centric company, and I think that sometimes people can lose sight of the fact that while we are certainly very embedded in that sector, we work for literally hundreds of license holders, producers, Canada, US, and globally. So our revenues come from literally hundreds of different sources, some very good contracts that are year-over-year recurring revenue, and a wide range of other types of revenue sources. So for us, we're not perhaps quite as volatile as some of the other sections of the cannabis industry. We do provide an essential service, and we are kind of deployed across such a wide swath of the industry, whether it's the federal license holder, the retail, provincial license holder, and again, the kind of U.S. and global markets. We're working with governments, we're working foreign governments, and we're also working for a number of clients in these different emerging markets across the globe.
Well, talk about that expansion a little bit. What are some of the great stories that 360 Secure has to, not has to, but would love to promote sort of where you guys have grown over even the last time we've chatted?
Yeah, I mean, I think a significant push for us has been into the United States. We recognize that is obviously a growth market. Just the sheer volume of people and the opportunity for business there. So we went into Nevada as the first state that we entered into there. We've got a great foothold in Nevada. We started a security company there or purchased a company there and then kind of grew that company out. So we're working for some great license holders, dispensaries in Nevada, which is a great state for cannabis, and have a lot of things happening there, and we're ramping up our operations there. We've also been able to get into Florida and Ohio in terms of our operations that we're just now ramping up in those two states, and we have managed service operations in New Jersey. Our commercial development folks are very busy looking at other U.S. states. We have a pretty mature matrix that we use to look at those opportunities and decide which are the pathways that would resonate best for us and our investors. And we've been making plans to enter those markets, and we expect to be doing more in the U.S. as time goes by and into 2020.
And David Hyde, who joins us from 360 Secure, 360secure.com. SAFE is their ticker symbol. Again, I can't give financial advice, but I love the stock. I personally think it's a great buy right now. But, I make sure that everyone who listens does their due diligence. Are there competitors in the space, or do you feel like you have a real good stranglehold on not only what those firms you're representing, but what's to come down the pipeline?
Yeah, I mean, look, the cannabis sector has attracted a lot of attention, and certainly there are people that want to do business in this sector. The fortunate thing for us was we were in very, very early before regulations even came out. We got our heads around the intricacies and complexities of securing these very different type of operations. There are a lot of regulatory compliance challenges, a lot of operational nuances that really one needs to get their heads around. So, yeah, of course there are some competitors. There is a degree of competition, but I think we really are able to hold that competition back because of our expertise, our deep knowledge of the space, the relationships that we have, and the understanding we have of the regulators and the interpretation of the regulations. We just commonly find that even if a client strays away from us and they get talked into something shiny and bright and new, they so often come back to us because we really are able to give them some unique insights into things that other folks may not fully comprehend. And I think we help them to navigate the licensing and navigate their operations in a way that helps them to avoid disruption. And that's a critical thing in this industry at this time.
Without a doubt, and proof is obviously in the pudding in terms of what you're doing and what you continue to do. We hear from your accent, and we know from previous conversations that you're from across the pond, as they like to say. And I always love to get updates on what's going on with cannabis and cannabis protection within other parts of the world. How are we doing in the UK, and are there expansion plans, considering over in that part of the world?
Yeah, I mean, Europe is certainly a massive market. It's very medical cannabis focused at the current time. The UK was really one of the laggards, frankly, one of the things I wasn't too pleased about with my home country. But more recently, we are seeing signs. And Boris Johnson, who's the current prime minister, has appointed, a special kind of cannabis representative to really look at this and figure out how they can fast track some access to medical cannabis for patients in the UK, which has been a real challenge. So I think there's a lot of business interest flowing around the UK right now. There's companies being formed. I'm aware of good business opportunities starting to come out of the UK. We certainly watch those carefully, and I've been in the UK recently on business-related trips. But just the rest of Europe, there's so much happening in Europe right now. The landscape there is really very open. There's a lot of great regulations coming through in some of the emerging countries there. And I think really what helps us greatly over there, Todd, is our experience here in Canada with what was done right and also what maybe could have been done better. We're really being able to help, whether it's foreign governments or license holders in these foreign markets in Europe, etc. We're able to help those folks navigate some of the things, some of the pain that we all went through here in Canada. And so we are quite popular in those markets and have been able to really capture some good market share in the emerging business coming out of Europe, for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting sort of being a guinea pig and pioneers, but as much as we take a lot of pride in that, here in Canada, you sort of do set kind of some precedents and some examples of how people could actually do it better. And it's interesting to watch your company adapt to that and promote that and grow that. David Hyde from 360 Secure, 360secure.com. What about, and I spoke to Thomas Gestenecker, CEO last week, kind of about this. And there's a lot of other services that your company continues to offer. And are you watching a great expansion in those realms and those streams as well?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the cannabis space itself, we're doing a variety of services, including remote monitoring, secure transport, as probably your listeners may know, security guard services, travel protections, such a wide range of things in that area. But, we've got other major contracts, and we're doing work in other industry sectors as well. We tend to look at sectors that have specialized security requirements. So, there's different sectors that they might need special advice from. We have got a very deep pedigree of security expertise that we can bring to bear. And our team has experience globally in very complex environments. So we are seeing an uptick in interest from new clients who are coming in, talking to us about other industry sectors that have security sensitivities, and we are looking forward to expanding in those markets as well, and certainly becoming more diversified as days go by.
Job creation alone, too, is something I'm always amazed about this entire industry and stuff. And that's something that your company's always, and again, we spoke about this in the past with some of your executives, but you guys are looking for tons of different employees. You need people to work for you.
Yeah, we definitely are looking for talent, all the time. We're a growth company, so we definitely need people to add to our experienced offerings all the time. We also are hiring sometimes for our clients. I mean, one of the things that we do that not many people know about, we're experts in how you need to manage security in these license holder premises. So we get retained quite regularly to find heads of security, whether it's our employees working in these license holder premises or whether it's just sourcing talent for folks that need a good, solid head of security. It's a very critical role, and it's a very specialized role, and we know a lot of people that do it well. So we're always hiring, actually, and we have grown our head count to almost 700 employees at the current time.
Phenomenal, David. Now, I got the gift of the gab. Do you ever need any sort of hostage negotiators or anything, like a guy who can kind of connect with people personally and stuff? I would love to get some extra. I got a second kid on the way in a few weeks. Is there any assets that I can provide the company?
I think with your communication skills, my friend, and ability to hold an audience, I think we can go a long way. Well, we can talk after.
You don't mean any of that. I don't want to hurt the reputation of your amazing company. Trust me. There's so many wonderful people, and you guys, on top of everything you're doing, from protecting executives to money to armored trucks to cannabis and stuff. At the end of the day, you're doing work. Your company is doing work that a lot of people wouldn't do, and there's so many brave individuals who work for your company, and I have so much respect and admiration from the management team to those who do apply and do get the positions. And it's not easy work; it's stressful work, but it's work that's very necessary. And we always appreciate your time, and we're so happy to see the success in your last quarterly announcements, and we can't wait to continue growth with 360 Secure. Thank you so much, David.
That sounds great, Todd. It's always a great pleasure. I'm sure we'll talk to you again really, really soon. All the best to you and your listeners.
Cheers, man. David Hyde, everyone from 360secure.com. Check out their stock. It's SAFE, SAFE. Of course, do your due diligence. I'm not qualified to give you financial advice. Personally, I do think it's a great buy right now. And I love talking to those who really not only help protect your cannabis. Yeah, everyone wants their cannabis, let's be honest, but help protect you. Thank you again.
This is the Todd Shapiro Show on Canada Talks, SiriusXM 167.